Are you about to go through a family relations comprehensive custody evaluation in Connecticut Family Court and wondering what the process will be like? I'm Matt Dolan with Dolan Divorce Lawyers in Connecticut, and today I'm going to outline what you can expect from a Connecticut family relations custody evaluation. Custody evaluations take place when parents are at a deadlock and are unable to reach an agreement on legal or physical custody. In that scenario, a third party steps in to do a deep dive into the family's dynamics and ultimately make recommendations about what should happen with legal and physical custody. This can be done in a number of ways, most commonly through the appointment of a guardian ad litem or through a family relations custody evaluation. A guardian ad litem is a private attorney who is hired to represent the best interest of the child, and in that scenario, the parties are normally paying a fee to the guardian ad litem. But an alternative path is the family relations custody evaluation, which is conducted by the Family Relations Office, which is part of the courthouse, and that does not come with a fee. The Family Relations Office, which is funded by the state, pays for the evaluation. A family relations counsel will be assigned to the case, and they will do a deep dive into the family dynamics, ultimately making recommendations which will be shared with the parties in order to help them hopefully reach an agreement after having that recommendation. However, if they're still unable to reach an agreement, the recommendation will be shared with the judge, and the judge will ultimately make a decision on custody after a trial. Now, this process usually takes about 3 to 4 months, and it begins with an initial joint meeting between the parties, where both parties will discuss the family history and the family dynamics, their own history, their own mental health history, what they want to happen with regard to custody and why, and they will also share their concerns that they have with the other parent. Again, this is usually a joint meeting, but if there are any safety concerns, the parties can have this initial meeting individually with the counselor. As part of the process, there will also be other meetings. There will be a home visit where the counselor will observe the living space of each party. They will also observe the interaction between each party and the child or children. There will probably be a meeting with the child individually, depending on the age of the child. If it's a very young child, then they're likely not going to have an individual meeting. But if the child is older, maybe 5, 7 or older, they will meet with the child individually to get an understanding of the child's perspective on the family history and family dynamics, to ascertain whether the child has any preferences as to where he or she would like to live or what they want this schedule to be, and also to understand whether the child has any concerns about spending time with one parent or the other. The Family Relations Counsel will also have meetings or exchange correspondence with other third parties. They may meet with or correspond with doctors or mental health providers for the parents or children, the school, daycare, or other caretakers for the child or children. They may meet with DCF or the police if there's been any DCF or police involvement. The counselor may meet with other relevant third parties who they feel would help them gain an understanding of the family history. And they will also have each party provide 3 personal references who the counselor will either talk to or have those references submit letters on behalf of the parties. Now, as the evaluator learns more about the family dynamics through these meetings, they will likely have follow-up meetings, particularly with the parents and the child, where they will ask additional questions about things that they have learned through these meetings with the other parent or third parties who are relevant to the case. And they'll also review documents that are submitted by the parties or other third parties. So correspondence between the parties, whether it's text messages or emails. They'll review school records, medical records, police reports, DCF reports, etc. After the counselor completes their investigation, they will then schedule a joint meeting with the parents during which they will share their recommendations following the evaluation. And the hope is that the parents will be able to hear these recommendations and reach an agreement as to legal or physical custody. custody. However, if they are unable to reach an agreement, the evaluator will then put together a comprehensive multi-page written report that gives the background on their investigation as well as their recommendations and the reason for these recommendations. And again, this report will be shared with the judge, who will ultimately be making a decision. The judge does not have to follow the recommendations of family relations. However, they will give a lot of weight to the family relations recommendations because the evaluator was able to have such an in-depth look into the family history and the family dynamics. If you're about to go into the family relations evaluation process, here are some recommendations to maximize your chances of success. First off, be honest. The evaluator will be doing a deep dive into your family, and the last thing you want to do is be caught in a lie. It will kill your credibility and will really negatively impact the evaluation process for you. You also want to stay child-focused. So focus on your child's needs and what is best for your child. Focus your attention away from any anger that you may have towards the other parent. The evaluator will be able to sniff that out, and it will negatively impact your case if they feel that your position is fueled more by anger towards the other party versus what is actually best for your child. Also, stay respectful at all times. Even if you don't like the evaluator or you don't like your spouse, speak about them in a respectful way or speak to them in a respectful way, because ultimately the evaluator is the person who is essentially deciding your fate, or at least has a large say in it. Don't coach your child. Don't tell them what to say during their meeting with the evaluator. The counselors are very experienced in detecting when a child has been coached by either parent. And if they have a sense that that is happening, that is definitely going to negatively impact your case, because the evaluator will draw the conclusion that you are trying to manipulate the child or manipulate the situation. Keep your home neat. The evaluator will almost certainly be doing a home visit, and if you have a neat home, that is a reflection on your stability. If they come in and see a very messy house, they will think it is a chaotic situation, and that will negatively impact your chances in the evaluation process. And finally, be as responsive and organized as possible when dealing with the counselor. They will be reaching out for a lot of documents to be signed. They may want evidence of correspondence between you and the other party. They may want certain records. There's going to be a lot. So if you can get that to the evaluator in a timely and organized fashion, that will further show that you are a stable and organized person, which will help you in your custody case. So those are the basics on the comprehensive custody evaluation process in Connecticut Family Court. As usual, if you have any additional questions, you can feel free to contact our office. And if you are looking for representation in a family law case here in Connecticut, we would invite you to contact our office as well.